Hi guys, this is your favorite mystic, TheSirenSayz, and welcome back to my channel where I talk about TV series, movies, and sometimes books soon to come. I speak about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and everything I like and dislike in between all of those genres of media. Here we are for the first 3 episodes of Queen Charlotte of Bridgerton story. Here's how I think about it. I'm just going to talk about the first 3 episodes. I was debating whether or not to do like the first 2 and then make an episode, or do 1 and make an episode, or do all 6 and make an episode, but I decided to speak about the first 3 and then you'll get the other 3. This should be coming after my thoughts on the ad for the trailer. So disclaimers. Yes, I did like it, so you don't have to worry about me disliking it. If you're somebody who dislikes it, I get it, because I didn't really like the original Bridgerton all that much, even though I tried to give it a chance. Other disclaimers. This is just for fun. This is just a TV show, technically. I know it's a Netflix stream show, but it's not that serious, okay? I may speak passionately based on the themes, but that does not mean that I'm completely right in everything that I say. It's just me being passionate. You want somebody to speak passionately so that they don't sound bored. I'm just saying. Damn it, I'm just saying. What other disclaimers do I have? I guess all I can say is that I'm not trying to insult anybody or change anybody's opinions. If you already have an opinion, if I say something that you completely disagree with, I get that. I'm watching this show and I'm seeing where people can have many different emotions based on certain things, and unfortunately, due to a leak that I saw on Twitter, there were feelings that people had towards a certain thing that I didn't get to just feel on my own because I just expected it. And it ended up being bad, but not as bad as they said. But I still ended up feeling like I had to feel like it was as bad as people were saying those specific scenes. And it was still bad. I'm not going to say it's not bad, but it's whatever. So let's bring it up. I'm going to go character by character as I can. I'll say this. I did enjoy this. I really did enjoy this. This story is talking about the ascension of Queen Charlotte as she and a young King George become the rulers. This is about their love story, how they met, how they interacted, kind of expanding from that scene in the first season. Was it the first season or the second? Nah, the first season. Possibly the second. I remember there were 2 different instances where Queen Charlotte had showed that the only person she has any softness for is King George. So we get to see where that softness came from. Excellent casting choice. The girl who plays her, India, looks exactly like her. So I'll just say that. Let's just go character by character. We don't really need to go scene by scene. Tunji Kasim, the person who played Adolphus, which was Queen Charlotte's brother, hilarious. He was in that Nancy Drew spin-off of Riverdale that they were doing. Yes, that live action Nancy Drew was a spin-off of Riverdale. I didn't even realize that, but yeah, that's the first person I ever saw him. Tunji, he plays Adolphus. I liked his character. I liked how firm he was with her. I didn't like how it ended. Almost like he felt like his job was done, or that he couldn't risk keeping any closeness to his sister after it. This is what I should have said. Another disclaimer. Yes, like I said in my prior video, I've read a lot of romance books, and some of those books were historical romances, so romances about women who went to parties and found a duke or a gentleman, and I've read a lot of books like that, but I'm not a historian, so I might say, why did this happen? And those of you who are more key to the monarchy will know exactly why that happens. I do not know, because I just don't know. So please just consider me a novice at stuff like that. So when you read books like that, you know a bit about it because they add a little bit of truth to the fiction, but I would not say that I know enough. So there are some things that I'm like, yeah, this is happening because it's way back then, whereas there are other things that I'm like, why'd they do that? And it could just be also because it's way back then. So yeah, the brother just kind of ships her off firmly explains to her the position that they're all in, so that, you know, she doesn't fight it, and then he leaves. So, you know, that was him. That was Adolphus. I did like him in the beginning, was sour towards the end. I'm not sure why he just, you know, dang near cut her off, like didn't even show her any warmness as he left. If anybody knows why, please say below, because I didn't really get it, and I felt sorry for her from that moment on. Let's just talk about other characters, and then we'll get down to George and Queen Charlotte. Let's just get into the tough part. Agatha, or Lady Danbury. This is what got spoiled for me. Spoilers, guys, come on, spoilers. I was already told that she was going to be hurt, physically by Lord Danbury. How I was told was, I was just scrolling through Twitter, and it was just one random tweet where somebody saying the writers or the showrunner should be ashamed having us sit there watching Lady Danbury get assaulted so many times. It's a crime, something like that, to that effect. And I was just like, huh, what are you talking about? And I was scared, but I was upset, because not that I wanted to be surprised by something like that, but I just don't like spoilers when I'm going to watch something, you know, as you do, as everybody does. It was still kind of stark. What I will say is, I don't understand why they did it so many times. You know, I feel like 2 times was just enough for us to get the point. Then you had her sort of mentioning how terrible being bedfellows was, even when she was the Lady Danbury we all know. So I'll call her Agatha when I'm referencing young Lady Danbury, and Lady Danbury when I'm referencing older Lady Danbury. So Agatha, you know, she had it rough, and you could see it when she was the Lady Danbury, that like she had it so rough that she never even tried to find comfort in other bedfellows, even after the death of Lord Danbury. And I thought that was really sad. And I know some people will be like, no, that's fine, I'm like, I'm not saying she had to get married again, not at all, but it would have been cool if she had, like, I don't know, to me, it would have made her even more interesting if she's like, oh, I'm satisfied in all ways. I got money, I'm dignified, and I do what I want with my bedfellows. You know what I mean? I would have thought that was cool, and I would have thought it was a great way for her to reclaim that. But of course, you can see, because she had that crying moment with Lady Bridgerton, that it still haunts her. You know? She acted so happy when that man died, but it still haunts her. The hold that man had over her, telling her to be quiet, using her whenever he was hurt, and that was just so tough to watch. Whenever he didn't get what he wanted, or he got what he wanted, his answer to it was to hit her head against the headboard. And I hated that. But let's get into the more positives. Lord Danbury deleted himself, so we're happy with that. But I'm just sad that it really did carry over into her adult life, to the point where she, I don't know, it's weird, because she kind of acted like there's no way it can be enjoyable. But then she was like, oh, if it's enjoyable for you and you can find love in somebody, you're lucky. So it's like, did you just never try to find somebody, or do you just never think that maybe it could be enjoyable, or you just were scared to have anybody touch you? Because that is understandable, but I would just like to hear that verbally. And we have 3 more episodes left, so maybe we will hear that. I think the person who plays her, Arsema Thomas, gorgeous. I was like, I know that's right. Look, pretty. I love it. She was so smart and cunning. Gave very much Lady Danbury. Good job. I really like the acting. I really like the storyline. I didn't like anything that had to do with Lord Danbury. Like, I wanted him out of my space. But he did one good thing, which was push her to start making the parties, which helped solidify her place in society. So he did one good thing before he passed. Good for you. Ew. I liked her little friendship with Queen Charlotte. Queen Charlotte was a lot more naive than you would have thought, but it still kind of fit with her character because the older Queen Charlotte is also naive to certain things, and she kind of likes to keep people around her that, like, hey, if I don't know something, I'm going to consult with somebody who knows something. And so that was cool. I liked how Agatha portrayed herself, how she let Charlotte know, hey, your purpose is bigger than just getting this little boy to like you. You know, you need to do what you can to help solidify all of us, not just you. And that, you know, I guess that's important. I do want to bring up, though, that it is hard to watch a show like this when they're trying to be this realistic, when they're trying to be this historically accurate in terms of, yes, there was racism and it had to be fought, and doesn't matter who married who, there was still a little bit of judgment and prejudice, and that's hard to watch, not because of the racism itself, but because I'm not really watching it for this. To be honest, I'm watching it for Charlotte and George and whoever is friends with them along the way. To be honest, I didn't really care to see the whole race relation thing, and it's just hard because, look, I'm not watching Roots, I'm not watching The Woman King, I'm not watching any of that. I am watching a romance that just so happens to be very old, like, you know. So there's kind of a level of ignorance is bliss that I wish that they had, where I wish they had just removed the race element altogether, because honestly I feel like Charlotte and George's romance was so interesting and so deep and complex that they could have removed the whole, like, make it more fantasy and less historical, make it more fictitious, like remove the race element as a whole and just be like, this quirky couple, one has a dark secret, you know, and, you know, I feel like that story was deep enough and thick enough and rich enough that we just don't even need the race element. We don't even need it. The race element, it kind of just tacks on and makes it baggy. Now, I know that's an unpopular opinion. I know some people didn't really like it in Bridgerton. I don't really like it in any of the Bridgerton stories. I don't really like it. I get it. It's not a bad thing, but that's not really what I'm here for. You know what I mean? I wish that they would have kept it more fictitious when it came to that, because they still haven't really found a way to meld it together. They meld it together better here than in the main series, the main Bridgerton seasons 1 and 2. It makes more sense here, like the prejudices and all of that, and Agatha telling Charlotte to, you know, think about us, make moves to help us. That makes more sense here, and it's way less cringy, but it still feels like it's taking me out of the story, right? So for example, Agatha is there with Charlotte, and she's trying to explain to Charlotte that nobody wants to come to her party that she's trying to throw, and Charlotte is just like completely preoccupied trying to figure out George because she can't figure him out. And since it's their love story, that is enough. But of course, Agatha also has a problem, which is fine, which is that she wants people to come to her party. That could have been an issue, race or not, because she just got up to what's the thing? Aristocratic status. She just got into the aristocracy. She just got into the ton. So that makes sense, right? But the added pressure of telling her, and see, I just praised it, but it still felt like extra baggage of her saying, you're the first of our kind who is in this position to think about us, you know, kind of just being like, fight for us. It's like, you're here for more than a boy. And I appreciate that because she's right. But I'm here to watch a love story. I don't care that there are bigger things than her and George. I'm here for her and George. I ship her and George. So me as the audience doesn't really care that there are race relations to be fought. I think her and George is pretty important. So I like that she's obsessing over him a little bit and not listening to you all the way because she's too busy watching him shirtless, fighting, either being turned on and being utterly confused and perplexed. I am enjoying that. I don't really care that she needs to think about her people of the noir complexion. Look, I get it. I'm also of the noir complexion. So it's hard. I think with this show, it grabs me at both axes. I get it. but I also wish it wasn't in there, because I wish I could just enjoy it for that instead of stressing myself out a little bit worrying about this, which I don't even really have to worry about because obviously it worked out, but they keep making it like the secondary storyline. You know, like the first storyline is Charlotte and George, and the very important secondary storyline is the fact that Queen Charlotte is of noir complexion, and she has to usher in everybody of noir complexion and people of other colors into the ton. I'm like, okay, calm down. Okay, calm down. That's why putting it in a historical drama like this makes it so sticky, but it's okay. It's hard for me because I get it. And it was done well. It was done better than it was in the original Bridgerton stories, not the books. When I say original Bridgerton, I mean the other Netflix show. But I don't know. I just feel like I don't need it. Other than that, I really like her. I love the moment where Lord Ledger, Violet Bridgerton's dad, was like so nice to Lady Agatha and wanted to dance with her. For a second, I got a butterflies, and I was like, look, he old, but he looked way nicer, and I would appreciate you cheating on Lord Danbury with him. I think that would be a way better choice for you to make personally. So there was that as well. But let's get into other people. Agatha was important, that's why I had to go on and on about her and her story and go on. Yeah, so here we have young Brimsley, which is the person who's always behind Queen Charlotte. I like him. He is cool. He's way nicer than the person who followed behind King George. He is obviously, I like the back and forth of future and past, because it shows that he's still there for her and he's loyal, and we love that. We appreciate that. Good for Brimsley. He didn't age very well at all. Sorry, my boy, but it is what it is. Vivian Ledger. Let's talk about the Ledgers. Vivian Ledger, trash, absolute trash. Basura, baka. No, we don't like her. Bye. How is it that Ross's parent can give birth to somebody like Violet who does not care at all? Your daughter didn't care at all that you were being Ross's because she thought you were dumb. What do you mean she's not like us? She got money like us. She's better than us because she got royalty. I don't get it. And exactly, Vivian, I don't get it. I'm joking. I get it. I know why she's Ross's, but I just think it's very funny that her daughter could see past the bull crap. Okay? And I appreciated that. And for some reason, I didn't remember Mrs. Bridgerton's first name. So I only found out she was Violet 10 minutes before the episode ended. I was like, oh, that's her? That's great. Makes so much sense. She didn't even bat an eye when her daughter fell for Lady Danbury's nephew. So of course not, because she don't care about them things. She cares a little bit about Station, but Station is all that matters. Skin color is not. I can get behind that. I know that's right. So the Ledgers are great, except for Vivian. Lord Ledger and Violet, great people. Love them to bits. Then you have the Lords. Lord Boot is the one that we should be scared of. Get rid of that nigga. Who cares? Obviously, everything went down fine. And I think that's the problem with this show. Some of the anxiety you don't have because you already know that the marriage worked out. She had the kids. So obviously him trying to apply pressure to the Princess Augusta doesn't work. So yeah, do better. Do better, man. Yeah, we're going really quickly. Princess Augusta. Like I said before, every time I see her, I just like her. She has never played a role where I can really enjoy her. Apparently her actress's name is Michelle Fairley. Girl, stop getting typecast. She's one of those mothers where you can kind of understand, but then she keeps saying these things where it's like, yeah, no, I can't like you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My personal opinion, when she was in Game of Thrones, the way she treated Jon Snow, I couldn't like her from that. I couldn't like her as a character. And in this show, the way that she's acting, I get it, but she's not my favorite, bro. I get it, but no. Yes, they knock votes often. You just have to give them a minute, okay? The coital bed is coitusing. It's fine, ma'ams. It's cool. It's fine. You don't know. Yeah, let's move on. Oh, we're almost there. King George has somebody who walks behind him, his version of Brimsley. Don't know his name yet, probably will by the end of this. He is very interesting. He's a way more mean and stoic, which doesn't really make much sense considering that George isn't mean or stoic at all. But I guess he does need somebody who is slightly well-intentioned with a strong hand to guide him in the right direction. And now, speaking of King George, let's get into Queen Charlotte and King George. Charlotte is perfect. Yep, I said it. She is perfect. I have never disagreed with her once. This is one of the first times you're gonna hear me say this on this channel. I haven't disagreed with her once. There was not one thing that she did where I was like, Charlotte, why would you do that? No. Every time she did something, I completely understood. Even if I wouldn't have personally done it, I was like, yeah, that's fine. Charlotte is best girl. She is, if this was anime, she would be waifu. Yep, I love her so much. I think she's so smart and interesting. She's slightly gullible, but not gullible in the way that people are going to take advantage of her. Gullible in that, like, okay, if I can find somebody I can trust, then I'm going to ask questions. And then I'm going to get knowledgeable, and then I'm going to play you. And that's what she does. I like her. She isn't perfect in terms of the smartest person around, but that's what Agatha is there for, you know. And Agatha ain't perfect either, because she didn't even realize that you could have pleasurable coitus. But you know, we all know why that is, so we're not going to blame her for that. But whatever chinks in the armor that one has, the other fills in the gaps. I loved her meet cute with King George. I love them together, bro. Like, it's just so cute. Like, I love the progression of this story. It was so beautiful, bro. It's deep, it's heart-wrenching, it's tough. I haven't cried, but I feel things, you know, when I see them together. I feel things when she's alone and she's missing him and she's like, what did I do? I feel it. I was confused along with her when it came to George. It was awesome. I don't know what y'all were talking about in Bridgerton season 1 and 2. This right here is chemistry. This is chemistry, and I love every second of it. King George is perfect, bro. Not a perfect character, but he looks perfect. He's a perfect face. I'm loving his face. It's just giving Prince Eric energy. He's great. He also looks like he could be a lost Franco. Let me see. You have Dave Franco, James Franco, Corey Franco. Yeah. His name is Corey Milcrest or something, but he looks like a lost Franco brother. He's so interesting and deep. So apparently what he has, people are theorizing that it might be bipolar disease or bipolar disorder. I think disorder. Sorry, that said disease. Disorder. And oh my god, that's so hard. Because at first I thought he just got what's it called? He just got dementia or Alzheimer's. But no, it could have been, they said he had mania, and that's why he's so obsessed with the stars. He like goes into fits of mania. And I think that makes sense, because he couldn't tell Charlotte why he was avoiding her, because he wasn't avoiding her. He just got super hyper fixated on one thing and kept it at that. I think he might also be on the spectrum in terms of possibly being autistic, because the way that he hyper focused on it, it might be a slight bit of autism. Just a slight bit. Maybe not autism, maybe Asperger's. Yeah. Well, they did theorize that he had a long list of mental issues, so that could possibly be one of it. I'm not a trained professional. This is just me TV theorizing. But yeah, it could be bipolar with a little bit of Asperger, autism, something there mixed up in a pot. It was so hard watching him do that, but it was so interesting seeing Charlotte just like take on the role of his Brimsley and like, no, I'm Venus, come inside with me. And it was so hard seeing older Brimsley telling older Queen Charlotte that like, look, you are stuck in time waiting for King George to wake up. waiting for him to come back to you. Your kids, especially your daughters, they can't move on. Your daughters can't move on and leave you like this. That's possibly a reason why they have not gotten married, and that was just so tough to hear. Yeah, because the actual side story, not the race story that they're trying to push, the actual side story is that her granddaughter and her great grandchildren had passed during childbirth, and so she needs new heirs, and she has a lot of kids, and the men just fathered over 50 bastards, and the women are like either married and have no kids, or are spinsters and are virgins, and it's just like, wow, she's like the matchmaker in the kingdom, but she can't seem to matchmake her kids. Very interesting. So yeah, that's technically the first 3 episodes. I can't wait to see the last 3, and then I'll probably have a slightly larger video talking about my entire thoughts. I got through as many characters as I possibly could, gave you my honest opinion. I know the character by character was a little bit shorter as I spoke more on the themes and what I thought. But yeah, I actually do love this. I love this love story. I love this story in general. I'm enjoying myself. I really like this. I like this way better than the original Bridgerton stories. So yeah, let me know what you think. What did you like? What did you dislike down below? Who were your favorite characters, favorite moments? Oh, one of my favorite moments was when they were like hating each other because she overheard him practically say, she's just my duty and I'm doing my duty. When, you know, she was talking about how much she hated him to Agatha. But then I had a thought right before the scene. I was like, it would be so cool if like she was like, oh, I hate him, but then they were having like hate you coitus, hate you sex, and they were, and I loved every second of it. I loved all those scenes. I loved it. A part of me though, even though I loved it, in an afterthought, I kind of wish that she hadn't have lied to Lady Danbury about that, because I don't know, maybe Danbury knew that she was lying about hating him, but you know, why didn't she ask a few more questions? I'm sure that they were close enough that she would have been honest about her experiences coitally, you know what I mean? But anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, my sires. Susu.